What a galaxy of shining stars today. Of course, the stars who are sitting on that side on the dais, I have big respect for them. But the stars who are shining in front of me, I have deep love and faith in them. The galaxy has its own beauty. The stars are independent, shining separately, but it's obvious that they have space to shine, and their beauty is that they look like they are connected, making beautiful sky. You are the one. When I come here, I can also feel that this Vigyan Bhavan is turned into a powerhouse. And the power always comes from the young people. Power to change the society for a better. Power to make the world a better place always come from the young people. I can see the bricks, 2,000, 2,500 individual young people who are sitting here are like bricks. But one thing I wanted to underline here, that if these bricks are used to construct walls, it would be a disaster. Bricks, each one of you should be used, and use yourself to construct bridges. Don't make walls between the cultures and languages and societies and nationalities. It should not be used by anyone to make walls between humanity and human beings, which divide humanity. Take the leadership in your hands and make sure that you are going to construct bridges everywhere in the world to unite the entire humanity. Let me begin with asking a few simple questions. Would you ready to answer? तैयार हैं आप लोग? Do you respect your teachers? Listen to them? Do you also respect your parents? Do you help your friends in need? Sometimes you also help others who are unknown to you, but you feel empathetic for them and help them. Do you? And do you love each other? Good. You might be watching television shows and Bollywood and Hollywood films, and you must be respecting some heroes, isn't? But do you know that when these actors, these heroes appear and they touch the feet of their elderly mother or grandmother, if they love someone, if they do something good, they are directed to do so. When they speak the language of goodness and they fight for righteousness and fight for justice, they are paid for it. There is a director, there is a producer, there is someone who is guiding them, and there are cameras around them for every single dialogue. and the emotion, the feeling they act with. Are you paid for anything you did for betterment of society and respect for elderly people? Is there any director around you? Is there any producer who gives you money? Are you paid for anything you do for the society? Even if you shake hand and love each other, are you paid for that? No or yes? No or yes? So my simple question is now, who is the real hero? Who is the real hero? They are not the real hero? Tell, I am the real hero. नहीं, धीरे से बोल रहे हैं आप लोग. Who is the real hero? Are you doing acting or you are really doing some heroism? Who is the hero? बहुत धीरे. Rahul ji is smarter and louder than you when he met me, and he was so self-confident in what he does and what he has learned from his father, Vishwanath ji. That self-confidence is your power. So who is the real hero? Who is the real hero? If you are the real hero, then why we are needed? Just to tell you, I am here just to tell you. I am not a politician. I am not a priest. I am not a teacher. But I strongly feel that I should come and tell my young friends that you are the real heroes, no one else. I was told that I have been invited at least 3 or 4 times in past few years to participate in this great event of Chhatra Sansad. Unfortunately, I could not. But let me share a story with you. And that may go in case of any Nobel Laureate. When Albert Einstein received the Nobel Prize, he suddenly became a famous scientist, much more than before for his theory of relativity. So he has to attend several events, academic discussions and so on. One day, his chauffeur, his driver, found that the boss is getting very exhausted. So he went with an idea to him and said, "Sir, if you don't mind, I have an idea because you are getting tired. Speaking the same thing every time, everywhere." Generous Einstein said, "Yes, tell." He said that I have been listening to all your speeches and I can remember everything verbatim. I can repeat anything, every sentence, every phrase. And that man, luckily, the driver was luckily of the same age and having long hairs. And it was not the time of these smartphones which have cameras. You need to have a very big camera, bigger than this. So many people have learned and read about Einstein, but in some places they have not seen the photos properly. So in one of such places, they did this new experiment. New Einstein appeared on the dais and gave a great speech. People were giving standing ovation. After the speech, there were some very learned people in the front row. We are so proud to have people like Marshal Karji, who is sitting here. So someone like him was sitting in the front row, stood up and asked a question. "Sir, I have a question for you. knew Einstein was quite confident. He said, yes, please go ahead. So the scientist asked one question. Then this Einstein had to say, sir, I was hoping that you are going to ask a tough, real question. But this is such a childish question, even my driver sitting in the back row can answer the question. So poor Einstein has to come again to answer the question because, Rahulji, I did not do this. So I did not send a replica of mine in the last 3-4 years. I thought that I should come. Of course, we are talking of youth, we are talking of democracy. And my additional topic is to combine it with compassion. There are great teachings in Vedas and Upanishads, great teachings in Bible and Quran Sharif and other holy texts. But let me begin with one simple mantra of Rig Veda. It says, Sangachadvam samvadadvam samvo manansi janatam deva bhagam yatha purve sanjananam upasate. It's a prayer as well as a resolve. When we say that, let us walk together, let us talk together, let us think together, and let us create a knowledge together that becomes the knowledge for everyone, knowledge for all. This cannot be possible without true democracy. This is not possible without the power of young people. But this is also not possible without the value of compassion. When we say let us walk together, means we have to create a level playing field where everybody can walk together. We have to have a sense of moral accountability and responsibility to ensure that no one is left behind, no one is left out, irrespective of anything, gender, religion, faith. Let us walk together. When we say let us talk together, we have to create a space for dialogue, a space for dissent voices, a space for questioning, space for speaking truth to power. We have to create that space so that we can talk together. The dialogue builds bridges. The dialogue creates sense of accountability. The dialogue addresses the trust deficit between the power and powerless, between the people who are sitting on the decision making and the people who are forced to follow them. Vedas say, let us talk together and think together to create the knowledge for all. Today in the world, we can see a lot of progress is being made. But despite of this, all this progress, when I'm standing here, 150 million children must be producing wealth at the cost of their childhood, freedom and education. 263 young people must be in schools. They should be chhatra, they should be students. But they are not. 63 million have never seen a school gate, and 200 million have been forced to leave schooling before attaining the high school. When I'm standing here, 50 million children are navigating a safer place tonight. Half of them are victims of violence and wars, and half of them are victims of global warming and climate change. Young people I'm talking about. We all can be proud for all the progress we have been able to make. But these are not numbers. These are individuals. They are breathing human beings. They are sons and daughters of someone. I work across almost everywhere in the world, to be precise, 144 countries for the last 20, 30 years. And I met those children who are working in mines, gold mines, that brings glittering and shining and power in the hands of fewer people. I've been sitting with those young boys and girls in the remotest parts of West Africa, in Ivory Coast and Ghana. Those have scars and injuries on their hands and legs. And when I ask them that, I know that you are working in cocoa beans farms, producing cocoa beans. How do you like chocolate? I asked. And in a village, all children said that, what is chocolate, sir? We don't know. We have no taste of chocolate. All of us, all young people love chocolate. All children love chocolate. Is it the world we are making? I've freed thousands of children from slavery, who were making clothes for others in garment industries, in cotton fields. They are losing their livelihood, they are losing their childhood every day. But their own parents, their own sisters have no proper clothing. Some years ago, in 2001, I freed a group of people, including a 6-7-year-old child. His brother and his family were victim of intergenerational slavery. We have freed all of them. This young boy was very bright. They were all working in stone quarries, stone breaking. This boy expressed that he wanted to study further. Then he had an ambition to become a lawyer. Eventually he studied. He passed out as a lawyer. His name is Amal Lal. One day Amal Lal came to us, to me and my wife, who is also sitting here, touched our feet. That was his first case he has taken in Delhi court. And he said that today when I was coming back, I saw a daughter and father crying outside, and some people were threatening them, and they were senior lawyers and a policeman, to withdraw a case. And then he learned that this daughter was raped by a policeman, not officer. And somehow the case was registered, but that day they were all forcing them to withdraw the case. The papers were signed. When these people left, Amal Lal sat with them, the new lawyer, and spoke to them. They told the story. Amal Lal said that, I will fight for you. Father said, I have no money. He said, no worries. The boy asked them to please sign on the Wakalatnama, the paper, and appeared on behalf of this sister of him. He said that she is my sister, so I am fighting for her. That was the first case he has taken. And when he touched my feet, I was in tears. I was not in tears even when my own son joined as a very, very bright lawyer in the court, and then the High Court and the Supreme Court. But I was in tears that day. He took the first case, and this is compassion in action. Amal is sitting here. So I know that my time is over, but if you allow me 1 more minute, 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, the same thing. I said 2 minutes and he said 2 minutes. Compassion is not sympathy. Sympathy is very outer circle. Compassion is not even empathy. When you feel the suffering of others, this is sympathy. When you feel the suffering of others as your own feeling, that is empathy. But when you feel the suffering and pains of others as your own pain and suffering with a desire and drive to take action to solve that suffering, is compassion. Today I am asking you, my dear friends, to stand and ignite compassion inside you. We cannot create a peaceful and safe world without compassionate politics. When I say compassionate politics means you have to feel the suffering of those who have voted you, your followers. But you should also have same feeling for those who are in your opposition, who have not voted you and not following your party or opinions. That is compassionate politics. We have to create compassionate businesses and compassionate economy. In a world where every day, not really every day, in 2 days, a new billionaire is born. And in these 2 days, 29,000 children will die below the age of 5 years due to malnutrition, hunger, and the curable diseases. We need compassionate economy where businesses and corporates make sure that children are not exploited, women and men are not exploited as slaves, as trafficked ones in their supply chain. We have to fight for compassionate societies where we should learn how to respect each other and how to feel the suffering of others. And equally important is that we have to create an environment and call for compassionate religions, because in many cases in the history of humankind, the fight between and against each other religion have created so much violence. We have to have more compassionate religions in a society. Dear friends, you can do it. No one can do. If the people coming here from all across India in this Chhatra Sansad, I ask a question that if you won't do, who will do? Don't look for others to do. Don't look for avatars and leaders and champions and heroes to come and change India. You are the makers of New India, no one else. If you are not angry against injustices, if you are not angry against wrongs in our society, if you are not feeling angry when the 4 children are molested and raped every hour in this country, when you do not feel angry when our girls are not safe in our homes, in our houses, in our marketplaces, in our schools, in buses, then we cannot make a new India. You have to feel anger. Though I am a peace laureate, but I call upon you to be angry. But, dear friends, this anger must not be used for any kind of violence and hatred. Anger must not be channelized to take revenge. Anger is not for destruction. Anger is an energy. Make it positive energy. Combine this anger with compassion and make sure that you can fight alone or you can fight together for the betterment of India. Dear friends, I can just recite some lines of a Hindi poet, and that is Dushyant. He says that, हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी पिघलनी चाहिए. There's so much pain and miseries around us. हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी पिघलनी चाहिए. इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा निकलनी चाहिए. इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा निकलनी चाहिए. सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना मेरा मकसद नहीं. मेरी कोशिश है कि ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए. हो कहीं भी मेरे सीने में नहीं तो तेरे सीने में सही. हो कहीं भी आग लेकिन आग जलनी चाहिए. हो कहीं भी आग लेकिन आग जलनी चाहिए. Let us ignite the fire of love and compassion. Let us ignite the fire for righteousness and justice and equality for everyone. You are the hero. You are the hero. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आदरणीय कैलाश सत्यार्थी जी का.